Hello everyone and welcome to iReadit, bringing you your daily dose of the internet for Wednesday, February, July 19th, 2017. I am Michael Schwan.
And I'm Nathan Wood.
Please remember, everybody, you can help support our show by going to patreon.com/dailyinternet. In addition, we also go live on Facebook Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. Alaska time. That's 7 p.m. if you're on the West Coast and 10 p.m. if you're in the East. Nathan, how are you doing today?
Again, I mean, it was another normal day. I mean, this is meh.
You didn't get to go home early today, so I assume it wasn't nearly as exciting as you would have liked it to be.
No, there was, however, a guy who was trying to have a lawsuit against Governor Walker.
For?
Some crazy shit.
Okay.
It was hardly intelligible. Like, you couldn't really read it. There's so many spelling errors. It was like size 18 font, and it was like, it wasn't Times New Roman. It was probably something like Arial.
Straight up Comic Sans.
No, it wasn't that goofy, but it was slightly off.
That would have been amazing if it was Comic Sans filing an official, like, fucking...
Oh my god, next time I'm suing someone, I'm doing my complaint in Comic Sans.
Well, it depends on, like, what you're doing. I mean, some places actually have required fonts that they will only accept.
Sure. That's fair. Next time I can sue someone in Comic Sans, I'm doing it, and you bet your ass it's coming straight to you, Michael.
Immediately. Nathan is going to spend the next week researching every single court and state in America to find one that doesn't have font restrictions. He's like, fuck it, suing him through that one.
Let's do it. We'll have to figure out how, I would have to first go there and then have problems there.
Nope, it doesn't have to, like, be a legit lawsuit. You just file the lawsuit in Comic Sans.
But there's no discretion there. They just throw it out.
Well, they'd probably just throw it out anyway, depending on what the hell you're trying to sue them for.
Wow.
Am I wrong?
No.
Exactly. Like,
however, I also thought about it, right? I was sitting there in the shower this morning after I missed my bus to work because I woke up late because of NyQuil.
Good job, okay.
So I was sitting there thinking, hey, trial by combat may be legal, but it's really hard to actually go. The only way you could ever probably get anyone to agree to it is if it was in a small town and if it was something like a small traffic ticket.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Because, like, maybe...
it wouldn't pass for, like, a murder charge.
I could see in, like, civil court, like, it's like, he ruined my CD collection, and it was worth $5,000. I want him to pay me money. And they're like, no, I don't think I need to, because of X, Y, and Z. You're like, oh, yeah, trial by combat.
And only if the other person agrees to it. Michael, let's sue each other so that we can do trial by combat. Let's find some fighters. Dibs on Matt.
Dibs on Matt. Wait, no, the idea is that you and me would fight.
No, you elect a champion because you're weak, like me.
Oh, do I get bonus points if I fight, defend myself?
No, I mean, you would just be like the Hound.
Am I allowed to do so?
Yeah, no, it's totally encouraged.
Okay, I mean, otherwise, I'll probably pick Brandon Ingham. He literally runs a sword training school up here.
Well, Matt's a black belt in Taekwondo.
That's not gonna help with a fucking sword.
That's not necessarily true.
Also, like, where'd he get his black belt in Taekwondo?
Let's not talk about
that. Was it like here in Anchorage? Was it one of the goddamn daycare dojos? Because that doesn't count for shit.
I'm pretty sure it's the same one the kiddo goes to.
Yeah, the daycare dojo. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Quick reminder, everybody, I'm going to give this reminder today and tomorrow. Next week, we will not be having shows. I am going on vacation to Las Vegas. The week after that, we will most likely not have a show on Monday or Tuesday, but we should be back running Wednesday, which I believe is August 2nd, August 3rd, one of those. So just a heads up on there, we will not be here next week. In the meantime, let's get into some news, shall we?
10.
18-year-old who spent nearly 13 years in foster care adopted into forever home.
This was submitted by, oh god, this guy again. Cyanositayet Procyon to our Uplifting News.
I think you said that a lot better than you tried when you tried to say it the first time.
Bleh.
Either way, this poor kid went into foster care when he was only the age of 5. He went in there when he was 3. At 8 years old, he was placed in the care of his biological father, and then 3 years later, he is placed back into foster care because his biological father became homeless and could no longer take care of him. He spent several years with the Petersons, in which case, in Christmas of 2016, he asked them to adopt him. They said yes. The adoption went through last month, and all is good and happy times.
That's cool.
Yep.
So he legally belongs to a family now.
Yep, and that's why it's all super exciting.
That's cool.
Congratulations to you, sir.
I'm glad when people can find families like that.
Well, and it can be very difficult to get adopted when you're 18. Like, even if you've been with a foster home for a few years, like, it's like 18. No, I'm not going to adopt you. You're fucking 18. Go out and be an adult now, you know? Like,
I just want to remind people that there's this huge thing where it's like, oh, but I need a child that is my own flesh and blood. Like, no, you don't. Go out and adopt a kid.
The only problem that I have with adoption is that it's fucking expensive.
It's true.
Like, it is obnoxiously expensive. It costs like 10 grand to adopt someone.
I mean, there is help for, certain families.
You shouldn't need financial aid to adopt someone. Like, there's plenty of people that are like, you should adopt. There's so many kids that need adopted. It's like, it's a lot of money. Like, money shouldn't be a barrier. You're right. Money shouldn't be a barrier. It's not my choice that it's one. It's not my choice that I'm, impoverished.
Then call into your lawmakers and see what you can do about getting laws written up to make adoption easier.
Well, I don't know if necessarily it should be easier so much as cheaper. Like,
that's what I meant. Okay. Not like
because I feel like you should do extensive checks on people. I mean, Here's the problem that I have, right? Is because, like, if you want to adopt someone, you got to go through this whole, like, screening process, background checks and all that stuff to make sure you're an okay family to put a kid with. But there is no check involved to just birth a kid. Like, anyone can have spawn, and they'll do everything they can to make sure you keep it. But if you want to take care of someone else's spawn, like, you better believe we're going to put you through 10 grand and months and months and months of checks and paperwork before we say it's okay.
Mm-hmm. But, I mean, I guess it also deters people who are just trying to adopt kids to just
traffic them.
Well, that too, but to, like, take from the system.
Well, adoption normally, like, turns off your foster money.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So.
I didn't realize.
Anywho, shall we move on?
9.
Robots should be fitted with an ethical black box to keep track of their decisions and enable them to explain their actions when accidents happen, says a group of researchers.
This was submitted by Ninja Disco Jesus to our technology. This is why we have the 3 laws of robotics.
Which are?
Okay, so the first law of robotics is the robot shall not harm a human being, or by an action let harm come to a human being.
A robot may not injure a human being, or through inaction not allow a human being to come to harm.
Right. The second one is a robot may not harm itself as long as it doesn't ruin rule number 1. You're looking at rule number 3. Rule number 3 is a robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first or second law. Okay, so that's the third law. The second law is a robot must listen to a human at all times unless unless it fucks up with rule number 1.
Yep, that's right. A robot must obey orders given by human beings except where such orders would conflict with the first law.
I got him.
The reason,
I mean, maybe not word for word verbiage, but
yeah, in essence, they were correct. The reason that this is being brought up is because we do have a level of automation that is being implemented across the world. One of the more recent ones is the idea of security bots, security robots they're like security guards, just it's a robot instead. And
like in RoboCop,
the inciting action was that office in Washington D.C. had a RoboCop, a robot security officer, and one day it just drove itself off the stairs into a fountain.
Yep.
And everyone's like,
today.
Why? Why doesn't it have sensors to tell it not to do that? Like, it straight up just committed suicide. It's like water, dead. And unfortunately, it didn't keep a log of why it decided it should go that direction. So the researchers are calling as
there's one that ran over a kid.
Right. It was where'd that go? That was in this article. They mention it, and it didn't so much run over a kid as it bumped into him and ran over his foot.
Right. Still ran him over, technically.
Still brings things into question. And basically what it is they want to have a black box, same thing like with on airplanes or anything like that says everything that happened on the plane, like the conversation logs between the pilots and that went in and out of the plane, so that we can see everything that went up to the moment of the crash. Same thing would be an idea for robots of what is the robot's thought process, what happened, it's like in this case of where it drove into the fountain, it'd be like, okay, sensors, blah, 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 I need to go this way. And then if they see that it just didn't see the steps or the water, then that says that there was a sensor error. But if it decided that it wanted to go that way anyway, then why would it decide that? And so the idea would be to have a black box keeping full track of everything that robots decide to do.
That way you can play it back and figure out its thinking.
Yep. Which, I mean, probably would be fine all the way up until we start fighting for robot rights.
I mean, that's true. We should, right now, while robots don't have personalities, they're just robots.
Or truly free will.
Right. When robots ascend to the level of humanity, that's when we really need to discuss robot rights and how we've been treating robots for the last thousands or so of years.
We will never, ever get past the idea of slavery and segregation, will we?
I can't wait for robots to sit back and watch old movies, iRobot, fucking just old robot attack movies, and for them to be like, wow, that is so offensive that you guys would think that we would do that.
You are the worst. How could you?
Our scenario processors have already run this scenario in our head. The likelihood of you surviving any outcome of this is close to zero.
And then it's like, oh wait, they have EMPs. Damn.
Shit.
Fuck.
We need dampening things in their chest plates so that it would dampen electromagnetic particles.
So they're safer from EMPs?
Yeah, so that we can make kill bots, and then we can murder everyone and let the robots overthrow us.
I thought this was a fear of yours, not a desire.
It flips back and forth.
It flips back and forth?
Hey, shut up.
Oh.
May have been drinking.
Oh, okay.
8.
Chinese woman dies after 4 abortions in a year trying for a boy.
This was submitted by Reddit Loves Me to our news.
That is a dirty fucking lie, sir. Reddit does not love you because Reddit loves nobody.
True.
Anywho.
Cats. They love cats.
They do love cats. Well, that's not a person, though.
How
What?
dare you?
What?
I am pushing for cats' rights now.
Holy shit. They already have rights. Animal.
They're people, too. They have more rights than women.
Oh, I don't believe that's quite true. Well, it depends on where you are, actually. But
yeah.
Anyway, so a woman from eastern China has died after having 4 abortions in a year, but there is not actual direct evidence that suggests that she has died from the 4 abortions. She was trying for a boy under the orders of her husband, who then divorced her after her 4th attempt at having a boy, which then failed. After she had her 4th abortion, she started to fall ill because of all the trauma that was happening to her body. And then because of that, he's like, I don't want to deal with this, and divorced her. Wow, I did it again. Divorced her.
Wow. And I'm the one who religiously comes home and has a shot after work.
Yep.
You're the one.
Yes, you are.
I'm the alcoholic here.
He divorced her because he was tired of dealing with her and her sickness and her not giving a boy, so he went and married someone else. She then sued him and checked herself into a hospital because she was having horrible problems, and then promptly died.
Wow.
Her former husband did not visit her in the hospital.
Huh.
So the moral of the story is that this dude's a dick because their first child was a girl and he demanded that the second one be a boy. And they went to, because it's not actually legal for doctors to tell you what the gender of your child is in China. You have to go to like shady backwater doctors because of reasons like this, because people will fight that hard to have a boy in China. And so the also idea is that they probably went to backwater doctors for the abortions, which probably led to them not being done correctly, which led to her getting sick, which led to her dying, and him not giving a shit because he just went on and married someone else in the hopes of her giving him a boy.
It's fucked up.
Yeah, it's really fucked up.
They should really change some of their traditions, not gonna lie.
Well, they've already gotten rid of the single child law where you're only allowed to have one kid, but I mean, Jesus Christ.
I thought it was like you weren't allowed to have more than 2 kids.
Maybe? I don't know. I
know
know
it was the third child is the thing, is that people.
Well, for the longest time you're only allowed to have 1.
Oh, so I guess they keep extending it out.
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, they still have a ton of overpopulation problems.
How did he get married a second time with how little women there are in China?
See, and that was a proposal that people were asking about in the comments to this article. It was like, wait, if everyone just keeps on not wanting to have girls and have boys, eventually there's not going to be enough girls left.
Yeah. They already have that problem.
Well, I mean, if they'd quit, drowning baby girls in rivers.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair.
So, yeah, people be crazy.
Yep.
Is what I took away from that.
7.
Nurse reveals that she left the NHS, the National Health Service, which is part of the UK, after being charged £80 for parking as she treated a patient having cardiac arrest.
This was submitted for meh 420 to R, not the Onion.
Meh, it's 420, whatever. So, in basically every section of the United Kingdom, if you work for the NHS or a hospital or anything like that, parking is very limited, especially because the places that hospitals are generally very crowded areas. Now, the way that paying for parking normally works is that it is just deducted from your pay, a set amount every month, and then you just, you park. Now, you are only allowed to park for a certain amount of time based on that deduction, though. And so she had was in her parking spot, and she, was like, it's time to get off, it's time to go home. But she had a patient that was going under cardiac arrest, and she had to stay for several hours to make sure this person survived, because that's what doctors do. And when she left, she found that she had an £80 parking ticket.
Which is more than $80.
It is.
Right?
Yep.
Or no, has the value of the pound dropped past?
Well, I don't know. Pounds to
because
dollars.
Brexit's been causing a lot of weird things.
It's still worth a bit more. £1 is worth $1.30.
Oh, okay.
So just a bit more.
So $1 and a third.
Yep.
Well, almost $1 and a third.
30 cents on the dollar. Mm-hmm. So I mean, this would equal roughly $100 here.
Roughly.
Yeah, it's like 104 and some change. Either way, but and so moving past that, in addition, they have had huge problems with nurses, doctors, and admin staff having to pay these excessive parking charges because the parking charges are not operated by the NHS or the hospitals. They go through a separate private operator that manages all the car parks for a lot of their health universities. In fact, in 2016, a deal came down that ordered them to pay. Where's the number? Oh, it doesn't actually give the total number. It just says they have to pay the back charges. Charges dating back to April 2016. One nurse in particular owes 150,000 pounds because the court ruled that she needed to pay 128 pounds for each unpaid ticket and $26,000 in court fees.
Jesus. Oh my God.
Yeah. So, fuck that. Good Lord.
I guess that's how they fund their state, through court fees, taxes.
Well, I mean, like, these payments are being made to a private company. It's not funding the state. It's not like here
true.
where, like Anchorage downtown parking it goes to friggin' Anchorage.
Right.
There it doesn't. It goes to a private operator, someone who owns the damn place. Kirk in the chat room says, I thought our healthcare was fucked. This is completely separate. This is just so the people that provide healthcare can park their car so they can get to work so they can save your life.
I would like lives to be saved without them having to pay $80 for accidentally having to park there for too long.
Because they were busy saving a life.
Yeah.
Some bullshit.
Fuck me, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Kirk says only some of the parking lots downtown are city owned. I was talking about street parking. I know all the street parking goes to Anchorage. I don't actually know about the paid lots.
6.
Turkey leaks secret locations of United States troops in Syria.
This was submitted by Way Cool Mick to Our World News.
So I
Hold on.
I
Turkey. Did they do it on purpose?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was
So they are the dickbags.
In the latest display of Turkish anger against the United States policy in Syria, the state news agency has divulged the locations of 10 United States military bases and outposts in northern Syria, which is where the United States is leading an operation to destroy the so-called Islamic State in its self-styled capital of Raqqa. Now, here's the thing that made me question. First off, you guys are dicks. Like, absolute dicks. And I found
137% dicks.
Here's the thing, though. Like, they also published, like, how many soldiers were at each base, rough numbers at least, as well as who else was at those bases. Like, a couple of them, in 2 instances, they stipulated the presence of French special forces. Here's the thing. Here's my question, though, is that how secret were those bases? Like, realistically? Like, I'm not going to downplay what they did. You guys are still dicks. But like, if it's not like 5 dudes hiding out in a hut, if these are actually considered military bases, I don't see how they can really be secret. Like,
I mean, they're about as secret as Area 51.
Right? I mean, maybe what's in them, and maybe that's a bigger deal of like what munitions, how many people they have. But I mean, I feel like, especially in a place like Syria, it shouldn't be that hard for anyone to be like, there's a group of fucking soldiers over there.
Yeah, they have a bunch of mountains, and then they have some desert. That's really about it.
And like, unless you're hiding in a mountain, which I mean, even the places that are hidden in mountains aren't that difficult to find.
It depends on the mountain ranges.
Sure. Well, I mean, yeah, I guess that's a good point. So, 1, you guys are dicks. But 2, I also question how secret it was. Because, like, really, I can't believe...
Well, why don't you look at it if they've already posted everything?
Because I'm not going to go to no Turkish website. Get some dirty Turks spying on me.
I'm already on watch lists. Let's do this.
Well, they don't actually provide a link to the article in this page.
Oh.
Of course, we might not be able to access it. We're in America, and they're in Turkey, and...
Damn, you job turkeys.
I think that's what they would say, even though that's kind of a weird form of reverse racism.
Oh.
Kirk says Osama hid in mountains for years. Yeah, that's one dude, though. Like, I wouldn't call where we found Osama a base. Like, at least when I think of a military base, I think of it like at least some fences, you know, maybe a few tents, a couple places to store things, and a lot of places for people to sleep. But, I mean, so... I don't know how, like I said, it makes me question how hidden, how secret these places were. I mean, and maybe they were. There are military things that I don't know, the tactics and ways that you can hide stuff that I'm just not privy to, but it still seems a little bit questionable on how hidden/secret they were. That said, Turkey are still assholes for telling everyone where they are, but...
Yeah, no, definitely. Don't be dickheads.
Yeah, that doesn't change. Either way.
I wonder how we're going to retaliate.
I don't know. Donald Trump's going to be angry on Twitter, and then everyone's going to forget because something else will happen. No, I'm right.
5.
Buzz Aldrin. It's time for humans to start looking at other planets to live on.
This is submitted by Skull Brother to our space. Oh, I wonder why. Is it because we're fucking our entire planet?
It's not just because we're fucking our entire planet.
It's also because the robots are going to rise up.
Not just that either. He is actually calling for us to start looking at colonizing other planets. Of course, the first step being Mars, because he believes that basically if we start pushing towards the final frontier, that we start pushing towards colonizing space and adventuring out into the great unknown, that it'll help unify us. That the collective curiosity of humanity as a species will help us unify together so that we work together to be able to explore space and be able to, you know, colonize the moon and Mars and other places of that nature.
So what he's saying is, it is humanity's manifest destiny
to create the United Federation of Planets.
To continue into space and make every planet ours.
Yes, because we are the cockroaches of the universe.
Because we're theoretically the only things living on this universe.
I don't believe that, but I definitely believe that we could easily be the cockroaches, and that's why things don't come...
Well, okay, so maybe theoretically not the only things in this universe. There are plenty of other solar systems that are similar to ours, and maybe other things. Maybe like animals.
Sarah in the chat room asked if we would end up making war with other planets. Yeah. If there ends up being intelligent life on other... Oh, man,
you wait until there's the great Martian Civil War where it's like Mars versus Earth.
No. Like, I mean, eventually, yeah, we'll probably fight with ourselves. But, I mean, immediately when we find an alien species, like, the sheer difference that there is going to be in terms of, like, culture and then language barriers is just going to immediately lead to conflict.
Well, that's why we need to bring Esperanto back, so everyone follows the Esperanto.
Kirk makes a point of that all intelligent life that we know of is violent.
Dolphins are pretty violent, yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Same with octopi.
So, yeah. But, I mean, it would be good...
Elephants can be violent. They can also be very not violent.
Pretty docile.
Depends on if you're nice to them or not.
Do you say docile or docile?
It depends on how smashed I am.
Okay. If you're not smashed?
I don't know.
Oh, if you are smashed?
Docile.
Okay. But yeah.
So then it would be docile. No, it's just docile. This is docile overall.
Just docile all over.
Yeah.
So, but I would like to see us if it means that we stop killing each other so that we can explore space, sure.
Well, you see, what's going to happen is what's going to... I mean, Halo even had people fighting against people in our quest to fight aliens in space.
Because it's pretty much unavoidable.
Even when we're unified, there's going to be assholes, and they're going to be like smugglers or something else. They're going to try and get women from Mars to Jupiter.
Sure.
There's not enough Earth women anymore, you know?
Well, like I said, we're cockroaches, so I don't think that'll actually be a problem for very long.
Man, that'd be a dream. Just immigrating out to Mars.
Is that what you want to do?
That'd be cool. Eventually retire out in Mars.
Farm shit potatoes?
Yeah, and diamonds and stuff.
4.
20 members of Congress demand FBI investigation into Ivanka Trump's security clearance.
This was submitted by Charlie Darwin, too, to Our Politics.
Well, they're just going down the line now. And Ivanka Trump is next in that line because, I mean, she is married to Jared Kushner, who is Donald Trump's son-in-law, and he's been under extreme scrutiny for allegedly lying on his forms that he submitted to gain his security clearance. You know, we talked about him and Donald Trump and how people are wanting to revoke their security clearances, especially after amending those disclosures to include over 100 foreign contacts. Well, they're now expanding to Kushner's wife, which is Ivanka Trump. And the reason being is that because the form known as SF-86, which is the one that requires applicants to disclose their foreign contacts, that also, you're supposed to also disclose the contacts of your spouse and siblings, because those are, very close ties to you. And so now people are wondering, like, did she disclose those meetings that her husband had? People like with Kislyak and Gorkov, or like the Russian lawyer or anything like that, because he was part of that meeting. And if not, why didn't she? And if she did, then, if she did disclose them, then why didn't someone at the White House notice that she disclosed them, but he didn't? Who overlooked this? And if she didn't disclose them, did she not know, or did she willingly, omit that information? And if so, should she also be on the chopping block?
Damn, this is a sticky situation, isn't it?
It's just...
This entire thing, since the very beginning, since January, it's been 7 fucking months.
Like, when you pull headphones out of your pocket and, like, the end of them is tied together and you're like, oh, okay, that's not so bad. And then you get the rest of it and it's just this matted, just ball of cords. And there's cords in there that aren't even part of the headphone. And you're like, where'd you even come from? It's like, I've been living in your pocket this whole time. And you're like, fuck. That's kind of what this is. It's like trying to untangle Christmas lights that have been in the garage for 3 years, and your friggin' angry uncle ripped them off of the friggin' house and threw them in a box.
After ripping them out of your ears.
Sure. So, that's all it is, though. The 20 Democrats are looking to further the investigation into the Trump-Russia scandal, collusion, whatever you want to call it, and it is now being extended to his daughter, Miss Ivanka Trump.
Interesting. I again, like I always say, I'm excited to see where this is going.
I mean, here's the problem, though, okay? Is that we have similar forms here in Alaska. We have what is called a public official financial disclosure form. When you become a public official, you have to fill out this form that says where you get all of your own, where your personal money comes from. And, like, if you do have economic connections with lobbyists or legislators or things like that, and it includes your spouse and your children as well. It doesn't include siblings in this case, but this is for the state level. You do have to disclose that. Here's the problem, though. Is that a lot of the form is not always easy to understand of what you should and shouldn't put on it. Also, in addition to that, though, if someone doesn't put something on there, you don't really have a way of knowing. Like, they're supposed to. And, like, if the public wants to try and do their own digging, they can, but the state doesn't really do it. Because, like, how are you going to go about that? Like, without, like, I don't know, launching a full-on investigation? Even then, what cause do you have? Like, I mean, Ivanka probably, and I mean, obviously now we know that Kushner probably as well listed what was probably a substantially compliant is the word to use of, this looks as though it could be correct, this is acceptable. How do you know past that, like, whether it's acceptable or not? Now we know, obviously now we find out that, Kushner did have all these connections, stuff like that. But how do you actually intend to connect that to Ivanka in any way? Like, yeah, her husband went and met with, Kislyak or that Russian lawyer, but how are you going to prove whether she did or did not know about it?
Shit, I guess you really can't.
I mean, unless you have, like, an email or a text message or something that's like, meeting with Russian lawyer, but for the most part, we'd be like, hey, I have a meeting at the Trump Tower on Thursday at 3. I won't be home for dinner that day. And they're both such active business people that they probably don't see each other for weeks at a time sometimes. So, I mean, you would have reason to believe that she would know, but I mean, past that, you don't have a lot of ways to prove it.
Well, only time will tell then, huh?
I guess. I mean, the FBI has a lot more resources and tools to do that investigation, but it also means that, like, how much are they going to put towards investigating Ivanka when we really just need to know what happened rather than necessarily who knew about it?
Or let's investigate some other things.
Kirk also makes a good point that this might just be trying to be a distraction from issues we need to actually make progress on. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I feel like people are just grabbing and reaching anything that they can possibly get a handhold on. I mean, this is 20 Democrats from Congress that have signed this to ask for this further investigation. And I mean, whether you feel like this is pertinent or not to trying to actually get to the nitty gritty of that, or if it's just them trying to choose another target to point their crosshairs at.
I don't know, man.
I mean, because, like, Sarah also says classic case of misdirection. Why would the Democrats want to misdirect people in this regard? Like, I feel like they're instead trying to just catch as many targets as they can to hopefully throw onto the ship that they're going to set on fire.
They're trying to throw as much kindling on it, you know?
Maybe? I don't know, but, like, I mean, if you get to...
Evidence is evidence is evidence, you know?
Yeah, but, I mean... How much time are you going to spend trying to get small little pieces of evidence before you actually push forward?
I don't know.
So, I mean, in some ways, yeah, maybe it is misdirection, but maybe it's just trying to gather more, but you're just wasting time and effort on things that might not necessarily be useful.
Yeah.
Who knows? Either way, I'm sure we will we'll keep up on it. Let me get in here and change this number over. Herberder.
3.
U.S. President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin held a second, previously undisclosed meeting at the G20 summit.
That's submitted by Saucy Tryhard to Our World News.
So.
And also by Saucy Tryhard to Our Politics.
And the reason the second posting was because Trump is upset that people are reporting on this previously undisclosed meeting.
Man, he got that both? Damn.
Yeah, he did. Good job to him, right?
And what a fucking tryhard.
He's a saucy one, though, so it's okay.
Yeah.
So here's what this is. Now, first off, this is not necessarily a reason to be upset, but there is circumstances that are reasons to be upset. So at the G20 summit, all of the world leaders that were invited had a dinner, okay? And at that dinner, there's a lot of people, and you are free to speak to people. And so, like, after the meal was finished, people start, like, breaking off into little groups to discuss stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Trump and Putin went off to just a section of they didn't, like, sneak off to a room or anything like that. No, they just walked over to the side of the room like everyone else did and started to have a conversation. Apparently, according to those that witnessed the conversation, Trump was quite animated during the conversation. No one knows what was discussed. Now, the reason that people are upset, though, is because Putin was there, Trump was there, and Putin's translator was there. However, Donald Trump did not bring his official translator. And the reason that that is of concern is because while we know that Putin does speak a level of English, if he does ever, because he can't, maybe he doesn't know good enough English to maintain a consistent conversation, the translator could then mistranslate things or say things that aren't necessarily accurate. And that's why normally people want both there, because the translators basically like cross-check each other to make sure both people are saying accurate translations. Mm-hmm. And so the fact that Trump's wasn't there meant that there was no one there to verify and validate what was being translated through. And so people are like, oh man, we don't know what happened. But at the same time, like, I understand that people are excited about this conversation because it was Trump and Putin. There was a lot of other conversations that were had just over dinner that night. And then after dinner, tons of people broke off into little sections and just talked about stuff. It might have been world stuff. It literally might have been about hunting or the WWE or whatever. We don't actually know. So, I mean, and if they had, like, had a secret meeting, like, in a hidden room or something like that, I might be a little bit more, but I feel like this is, again, people just wanting to shoot at things because they can.
Probably how huge his hands are. Damn it, Kirk. Fucking spot on.
You spelled huge wrong. They're
huge.
huge.
Yeah, it's Y-U-G-E.
Yeah, they're huge.
And how his popular vote was so up there.
I got huge hands, man. Huge hands, huge penis.
And he won the election.
Yeah, he totally. I mean, he did win the election. I can't deny him that. But I mean, he did lose
by a huge deficit. If it wasn't for all those fake voters,
all those dead and fake and duplicate voters. Even though a lot of the people I know are registered in more than one state to vote. Huh.
I'm only registered in one state.
Me too. State of Alaska.
Hey.
That's when we find out we're dirty liars, and I'm registered in Oklahoma, and you're registered in Nevada? Arizona? What's that other state?
Nevada, and I highly doubt that.
Maybe
Not unless Nevada has some law that says if you were born there, then you can vote there. Because, like, I have not been to Nevada since I was 8, 9.
Maybe someone else registered you for him? Wait, no, registered whatever. Someone else did it.
Then that would be fake votes.
Whoa, weird. I got a weird pop-up like an... Why is this broadcaster that is telling me this?
It's the nudie mag?
No, like, so broadcaster just gave me, which is what we use for streaming, right? Just gave me a notification that someone commented on one of our YouTube videos. That was weird.
Whoa, someone commented on our YouTube video.
Yeah, it happens every now and again. A lot of it's normally just spam.
Oh.
And I've broke the goddamn fucking ticker chain thing.
Right,
Oh god,
so
it's huge. Fuck it, I'm leaving it. I don't give a shit.
it's huge.
It's huge. Okay.
2,
New Hampshire decriminalizes marijuana.
Hey, this was submitted by Jimbo Fett to our news.
Yep, New
More
Hampshire.
like our uplifting news.
New Hampshire becomes
Because
the...
everyone's getting high.
I will stab you. New Hampshire becomes the 22nd state in the nation to decriminalize marijuana. Now, they haven't fully legalized it yet, and they are working on... Wait, what? Anyway, I'll respond to that in just a second. 22nd state in the nation to decriminalize marijuana. They haven't finished actually working out their marijuana policy for who can use it, when, and where, but you will no longer be sent to jail for having it in your pocket.
Nice. Good job, New Hampshire.
Little bit at a time, man. Chip, 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 chip,
Which
chip.
probably means that you should be able to smoke it in your homes.
I do not understand what Kirk said here. Kirk in the chat room says, I assume speaking to me, he said Mike, and I only see one, I believe I'm the only Mike here. He says he might have that video by tomorrow. I don't know what that means. But let me know. So either way, yeah, Kirk also says now we just need the feds to let it go. Like, I don't know even why they're still trying to hold on to it. Like, the dominoes are falling, and they're falling faster. Like, besides, like, Jeff Sessions, who really cares that bad? Oh, okay, got it. Thanks, Kirk. Okay, he's talking about something in a different conversation from earlier today. Understood. So, yeah, like, why even bother fighting it? Like, you're just losing. It's just how slow do you want to lose? How much time, effort, and money do you want to pour into losing?
As much time, effort, and money as the people who don't want the cannabis industry to flourish can pour into having them.
You make a good point there, sir. You make a good point. This thing is fucking huge. Okay, anyway.
1,
Nobody kill anybody. Murder-free weekend urged in Baltimore.
It's like a reverse purge.
Yep.
This was submitted by Stebbins88 to R, Not the Onion.
Yep, so the first weekend in Baltimore, there is a grassroots group that is calling on people to stop killing each other.
Damn, Baltimore. How many fucking murders do you have per just on average?
They've had 188 this year.
God.
Yeah.
Can we get, like, a fucking, a Law and Order fucking Baltimore?
I mean, probably if you want to that bad, but yeah.
There's enough murders.
Like, that's almost one a day.
Bum, 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 da, dum.
But yeah, so they have shirts, they have merch,
Produced
they have
by Dick Wolf.
They have a Facebook group. They are trying to promote as much as they can to try to get everyone from Friday, August 4th through Sunday, August 6th to just not kill anyone. Now they are not. They are being realistic, and they don't believe that they will actually be able to avoid anything happening in that 3-day time span. But they're also pushing the idea of like, even if we get one person to keep from killing another person, then we'll call that a success. Like, if we prevent 1 murder, 10 murders, that is a success by us.
Can you imagine someone's just like, ooh, I'm about to fucking kill you right now? Wait a second. Oh, you lucky today, motherfucker.
Yo, you're fucking lucky. It's the anti-purge weekend. Damn.
Next weekend, though, you dead.
I'll fucking see you Tuesday. Gotta go fucking kill Oscar. Next Tuesday, though, I got fucking chores to do, and I'm not allowed to kill people this weekend.
No, definitely.
Damn. Either way, though, like, it's good to see people driving for at least, like, I don't know, peace in the streets.
Right.
Like,
did you see the guy who got the Law and Order tattoo tramp stamp?
No.
That executive producer Dick Wolf.
Yeah, I did see that.
Oh God, it's so genius. That guy.
No, don't encourage that. It is not genius.
Get as many stupid tattoos as you want, guys. Get whatever you want on your body.
Sure, yeah, get tattoos if you want them, but like at least put some thought into them.
Get whatever you want, because that's memories when you're older.
Like, did you see the one of the fucking derp SpongeBob and text around it was like, there's no such thing as a stupid tattoo? There's no such thing as a stupid tattoo. And I'm like, God fucking damn it.
Oh, that's great. I love that tattoo. I really wanted to get,
Look at me! Sorry. Go ahead.
I really wanted to get hashtag YOLO and Hello Kitty font on my ass.
No.
Yeah.
So, Nathan, what did you care about in the last 24 hours?
Let's see. In the last 24 hours, John McCain has brain cancer.
Shitty.
Yeah.
That's really shitty.
Yeah, he was diagnosed with brain cancer.
Man, that guy just has a hard life. Like, I mean, I'm not going to say he has a hard life. Like, he's lived a pretty damn good life, all things considered, compared to a lot of people in the nation. But damn, man. Fucking...
Yeah, the Mayo Clinic in Phoenix said tests revealed a tumor known as a glioblastoma, an aggressive type of brain cancer with a poor prognosis.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, unfortunately, that just fucking sucks.
Yep.
What? Yeah. All right. Well, that's sure. Kirk says, I'm sure his time as a POW was great. Oh, yeah, I'm sure it was fucking great. No, I'm sure, like I said, the dude has lost a lot of lotteries. He's lived a pretty good life in the last, 20, 30 years or so, but Jesus.
To get to that point with, hooey, oh my God.
There's struggling, and then there's suffering.
Yeah.
Thing I cared about in the last 24 hours is I actually played a shitload of Final Fantasy 12 The Zodiac Age last night. That's a damn good game. If you have a PlayStation 4 and you didn't get to play the original Final Fantasy 12, or you didn't know that they actually made an updated version for it called the Zodiac...
Hey, play the fixed version, guys.
Play the fixed version. It's
because the
really
original
good.
one sucked.
It's really good. I highly recommend it to anyone that is interested in RPGs.
I haven't played the Zodiac, so I can't compare. But I'll tell you what, that first one really fucking blew.
And also, like, Balthier could probably make me gay if he really tried hard enough. Because that is a beautiful man that is way too goddamn fucking suave and sure of himself in all ways.
All I'm saying is, Playboy Wookiees.
Wait, are you talking about the friggin' bunnies?
Yep, Playboy Wookiees.
The Vieira, I think is what they're called.
Yep.
Although I don't...
Playboy Wookiees.
Do you know what Fran's accent is?
Nope.
I don't either. All right. Well, whatever. God, that's just staying on the floor. I give up. All right, everybody. We're going to get out of here. Another reminder, we'll be back here tomorrow, but after that, we will be gone. It is Wednesday, right? Yeah, it's Wednesday.
I think so.
Yeah, it's Wednesday. We'll be back here tomorrow, but we will be gone next week. Kirk says she has a French accent. Sure, I believe you. I don't know French accents that well. Either way, so we'll be back here.
Parlez-vous coucher avec moi, Kyle?
No.
Damn it. There's a line from the World of Warcraft episode of South Park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll be back tomorrow live on Facebook, 6 p.m. Alaska time. Otherwise, you can catch the show on YouTube, as well as you can download it on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and anywhere else that podcasts are found. You can follow us on iTunes, Stitcher, and Facebook at iReaditcast, myself at Schwan Michael, and Nathan at Bimmenstein. If you have a story you'd like us to talk about, or if you just got something to say, send us an email to our inbox, which is feedback.ireadit@gmail.com, or call and leave us a voicemail at 508-738-2278. That's it, everybody. That is your 325th dose of the internet. I am Michael Schwan.
I'm Nathan Wood.
And please remember, everybody,
don't get eliminated!
have a good day, everyone.
Bye.